FM, the Integrity Station. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. First, the news headlines. Despite attacks in Southeast, INEC vows to conduct Anambra State governorship election. Federal government to increase vaccine acquisition drive, oxygen reserve capacity for COVID-19 third wave. On the foreign scene, Burkina Faso receives first batch of COVID-19 vaccine. And Naomi Osaka withdraws from French Open after bitter row. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has vowed to conduct the Anambra governorship election despite the recent attacks on its facilities in the region. The Anambra governorship election is scheduled to hold on November 6, 2021, but the Southeast has been a hotbed of insecurity with gunmen attacking police facilities, burning INEC buildings and destroying electoral materials. Despite this, the Commission said it is engaging relevant stakeholders to find a lasting solution to the violence and also proceed with the election. This was disclosed by the National Commissioner of the Commission, Adekunle Ogunmola, after a strategic meeting in Lagos.
For INEC, it won't be a difficult thing to plan for the Anambra election. You see, we've had similar occasions in the past, similar incidents in the past. For instance, that of Ondo State, where some card readers were burnt, we were able to make amends, and we conducted the elections without an hitch. As for Anambra, I can assure you that we will conduct that election without any problem.
Now, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike said the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, cannot issue a sit-at-home order to the people of Rivers State. Governor Wike, who stated this during an interview, added that Rivers is a South-South state and not one of the southeastern states. IPOB had, through its spokesperson, Ima Powerful, said human and vehicular movement would be restricted across the Southeast on Monday to mark the 54th anniversary of Biafra. In compliance with this, economic and commercial activities came to a standstill in the southeast region of the country. But Governor Wike faulted the directive, saying he is not against the activities of the outlawed group in the eastern part of the country.
With all due respect, I've said it before and I'll continue to say it, IPOB cannot make an order to say sit-at-home order in Rivers State. I've said so clearly before, because it does not exist in Rivers State. Rivers State is not part of Southeast. I've always said that. Rivers State is South-South. When it doesn't. So I am not saying whether the people of the Southeast should not obey what IPOB has said or not, but they cannot give order to Rivers people that we should sit at home. No, it is not possible. And that's what I've always said. I'm not against IPOB activities in the Southeast, because they have a right to whatever they are doing with their people. But as far as Rivers State is concerned, we are not part of it. So you cannot give an order when we are not part of whatever that you are doing. How does it work? It doesn't work that way.
Now, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has expressed shock over the killing of APC stalwart Ahmed Gulak, describing the incident as an unfortunate clear case of political assassination. Addressing Imo State people in a broadcast at the government house in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the governor said he is really saddened by the gruesome murder, which underscores the ugly security situation in Imo State in recent times. Governor Uzodinma stated that the events of the last few weeks do not represent the true character of the Imo people, and he assured the people that the government will not leave any stone unturned in going after and apprehending anyone or group perpetrating all the criminal activities in the state. The governor sympathized with the families of those who lost their lives within the recent period of unrest, most especially the family of late Ahmed Gulak.
Ahmed Gulak was in Imo State for a national assignment. He came to Owerri with the Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendment. Being a humble man, he chose to travel incognito, according to his friend that was with him during the incident. Someone must have trailed him from his hotel to the airport. That is exactly why this gruesome murder appears to be a clear case of political assassination. Let me make it very clear that everything will be done by security agencies to find those who murdered Gulak and their sponsors. They will not, by the grace of God, escape the punishment they deserve. This is not our character as Igbos, not in our tradition, nor in our culture. Therefore, we must rise to condemn this callous act.
Human rights lawyer Femi Falana and his son Falz on Monday joined civil society organizations, labor unions and youth bodies to protest against insecurity, unemployment, mass poverty and bad governance. Bearing placards with different inscriptions, the groups took the peaceful protests, which had the theme National Day of Action Against Insecurity in Nigeria, to the Lagos State Government House in Alausa Ikeja, where they were received by members of the State House of Assembly. Falana told the lawmakers that there was a need to provide for the poor so that peace could be guaranteed in the country. He called on states that had not adopted the Child Rights Act to urgently do so and take all the children off the streets so that they could get an education.
Southwest has 54 universities. 54 graduates are being shown out there. Nobody is planning for their future. We're asking you, because Lagos is where everybody comes. This is the home of every Nigerian. And we're asking you to intensify your efforts and increase the budget of the poor so that there will be peace. It is now clear in our country that without peace for the poor, there can be no peace for the rich. For those who want to fight banditry and terrorism, we must put all our children in school. In the case of Lagos, we want CCTV cameras all over the place. Is that not so?
Yes!
We want tracking devices acquired. Is that not so?
Yes!
We want drones acquired. Is that not so?
Yes!
And for the neighborhood watchers, it is risky to ask young men and women to go and confront criminals behind AK-47 rifle and pump action. We therefore urge you to pass the law to allow our neighborhood watchers to carry arms and ammunition.
The protesters, which included trade unions, civil society, students, farmers and peasants, were led by Jaye Gaskia, a foremost activist. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 is to embark on increased vaccine acquisition drive, raise oxygen reserve capacity in the event of third wave, and boost testing in the states. This is even as members of the panel yesterday received their second round of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the weekend received their jabs. At a briefing in Abuja, the committee chairman and secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, pointed out that Nigeria could not afford a third wave, hence the need to do everything to protect the nation. He pledged that the country would keep monitoring unfolding events and deal with them as they come. You're still listening to the news on Splash 105.5 FM. Now turning to the foreign scene. Burkina Faso has received the first batch of 115,200 doses of COVID-19 vaccines funded by the International COVAX scheme to enable the poor West African state to launch a vaccination drive on Wednesday. The health ministry said in addition to the vulnerable, the first phase would target health workers and candidates for the pilgrimage to Mecca. Burkinabe Health Minister Charlemagne Ouedraogo said the nationwide drive set to begin Wednesday will target people most at risk. Burkina Faso initially intends to vaccinate 3% of a population estimated at more than 20 million. Now, the authorities in Saudi Arabia have defended restrictions on the volume of loudspeakers at mosques. The country's Islamic Affairs Ministry announced last week that all loudspeakers should be set at only a third of their maximum volume. Islamic Affairs Minister Abdulatif Al-Sheikh said the measure was in response to complaints from the public. Mr. Sheikh said complaints included those from parents who said that the loudspeakers were disturbing their children's sleep. But the move in the conservative Muslim nation sparked a backlash on social media. A hashtag calling for loud music to be banned in restaurants and cafes began trending. Finally, in sports, Naomi Osaka said she was withdrawing from the French Open following the bitter fallout from her decision to boycott all media activity at the Grand Slam event, revealing she has suffered long bouts of depression and will now take some time away from the court. The 23-year-old Japanese star was fined $15,000 on Sunday and threatened with disqualification after she refused to carry out a mandatory news conference following her first round win. She claimed on the eve of Roland Garros that such post-match inquests were akin to kicking people when they're down and that they had a detrimental effect on her mental health. Osaka said she has also apologized to organizers over the affair, which has dominated the early stages of the French Open ever since she warned last week that she would not carry out any media activity. All right, just before we go, a recap of the headlines. Despite attacks in Southeast, INEC has vowed to conduct a Anambra state governorship election. The federal government to increase vaccine acquisition drive, oxygen reserve capacity for COVID-19 third wave. Burkina Faso has received first batch of COVID-19 vaccine. And in sports, Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from French Open after bitter row. For more details on the news, visit our website on www.splashfm1055.com. Now you can download the Splash FM mobile app on iOS, BlackBerry World and Google Play Store to listen live, get news updates, opinion poll, and also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5, then click to download. We have now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawuwu, assisted by Chinwe Churchill. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.
Quick, charge it